You've stepped into the Jared Briggs Show. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's episode where we're going to talk about some real stuff here. And the whole focus every single week is to get better. So let's get better today. You guys, I've had a thought on my mind. It's all the time, honestly. You guys, I am constantly thinking about stuff. I'm constantly analyzing stuff. I'm constantly trying to see things from a different point of view and a different lens. And I've had some thoughts and things come up in my mind over the last couple of weeks that have been bouncing around in my head for years now. And I just want to talk about it a little bit. And it's how traditional information, traditional education, traditional health, traditional everything, the way the world wants it to be, the way we've been programmed, is what is exactly is holding us back. And I want to first start off with a little bit of a story. So I'm very involved. Well, I wouldn't say I'm involved. I want to be very involved, but I don't keep up with the news. I keep up with what's going on in this space of personal development, business, growth, all of those things, because I figured something out in my life that the real people that are shaping and molding this world are the people that are building businesses. That's the beautiful thing about capitalism in America is you are able to create a lot of influence that goes on in the community, in your state, and in your country by becoming successful in business, by becoming successful in any type of organization or thing that you're doing. It doesn't even have to be business, but if you become influential, you can cause a lot of good. You can cause a lot of things to be changed and improved. And that's why I see a lot of people are like, oh, everybody just goes and builds a big business and then they get involved in politics. The reason why is because they've been able to see things from a different lens and they're like, man, maybe I can go make a difference. Maybe I can go do some good. And I finally understand that. Like for some reason, I've gotten interested in like the commissioners in my local community and the school board and the city council and all those things, and then up it to a state level. I wasn't interested in those things 10 years ago. But now that I look at it and I look at the last 10 years of me really building my life and diving into the personal development, I'm like, holy crap. The small things going on in my community actually have more of an influence on my life than what the president of the United States is doing. And I freaking wish that people would understand that your city council, your commissioners, and your school district, the school district board, you guys, they have more influence on what is going on in your life day to day, the taxes that you're paying, the rules, the laws, the regulations, everything you're dealing with. Those things are influencing you more than the president of the United States. And I didn't understand that at the beginning. And so now I've started looking at this and getting involved. Well, over this, you guys, I try to pay attention to what's going on in the business world. I don't watch the news. I hate the news. I'll never watch the news. But I try to pay attention through social media, through YouTube, through articles and things that do come up, and then a lot of conversations. I like having conversations. One big thing that I have seen over the last couple of years is the topic of health. And that topic of health in perspective of what is truth, because pharmaceutical companies, big pharma, hospitals, doctors, all these things, our world is trending. Like people are staying healthy for longer. But then if you literally just walk out on the street, like 9.9 out of 10 people are overweight and not healthy in that sense. And I recognize that. And I'm on a path to get myself into even better shape because I realize this of like, look, that this isn't a good thing. Like having fat on my body isn't normal. I should be able to go run 5 miles and do this and do this and do this and not be tired, exhausted, and wiped out. That isn't a normal state. That is not what our bodies were meant to do. There's this health thing that just keeps popping up called 10X Health with Gary Brecka and his whole team. And I've seen a bunch of business people that have worked with him. But one of the big ones that comes to mind is Dana White with UFC. He was the owner. I think he's now sold part of the UFC, but he was the owner, founder type person of UFC. He's the one that built it to what it is, the multi-billion-dollar industry that it is now. We'll just say that. Really cool guy. If you guys look at videos and pictures of him years ago, the dude was out of weight, looked like he was minutes away from a heart attack. And he even says it on videos and stuff. He's like, guys, I was a walking heart attack. So he works with this Gary Brecka guy, and his health completely changes. Let me back up a little bit. Gary Brecka worked for the life insurance industry. You guys know, you need to go study this stuff. Worked for the life insurance industry, learned a ton about health and nutrition and everything that our body needs, and realized he couldn't help people there. He come out and started his company 10X Health, and now he helps genetic testing, blood testing, and like really figure out what is going on with our bodies. So I've been following this for years now. I've seen Dana White completely change his health. I've seen Grant Cardone, who's another big business mogul, real estate mogul and stuff. He completely changed his health. He was healthy to begin with, and now he's like a freak in nature. He's in his 60s, and he looks like he's in his 40s or 50s. Like, it's crazy. Jelly Roll, I just watched some video series on him, how he changed his health. He's lost a bunch of weight and got a lot more healthier. Multiple other people that have worked with this 10X Health company. And I've watched it from the background and just analyzing and looking at this stuff. I've gotten on their website multiple times. I actually was at an event that Gary Brecka spoke at. He only had 15, 20 minutes, and just the stuff he says resonates. I'm like, there's truth here. Like, I just feel truth. So I've gotten on the website multiple times, and I finally just decided, I'm like, you know what? For a blood test, I think it's $500-$600. For the basic genetic test is another $500-$600. What was it, $499, $599, something like that for each one of them. But then you can do their high-end genetic test, which tells you everything about your body. And that one's like $1,400, $1,399 or $1,299, something like that. So, I mean, you can spend $1,500, $2,000 really quick, right? And I've looked at this, guys. I've been on the website so many dang times. I've got things in my own life where health-wise, I'm like, I just know something's off. Like Gary Brecka will talk about, if you lay down, if you're super tired and you lay down in bed and then your mind comes awake, there's this micronutrient or something that you're missing. Or if you sleep all night and wake up in the morning and you still feel exhausted, you're missing this kind of stuff. If you have headaches, you're missing this. And talks about fruits and vegetables and proteins and just all kinds of things that just resonate with me and things that I experience. I've been thinking forever now. I'm like, man, I should do this. 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 I've literally been thinking about it forever. And it's like an investment, right? It's $500-$600. So I just ordered the basic genetic test, the methylene something genetic test, and the blood test. So all together, and then your tax and stuff, it's $1,100 to $1,300. I don't remember it, about $1,200, whatever it was. And I look at that and I'm like, what the heck? That's kind of expensive. Should I do this? And I've literally put it in the cart and backed out and put it in the cart and backed out for over a year now. And last week I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I've got the money to do it. And then I asked myself this question. I said, if this was a medical bill at a doctor's office down in Logan, Utah, or Salt Lake City, or if it was for me, my wife, or my kids, I would pull out my HSA card and I would pay it. And I wouldn't even think about it because I'm like, I got a medical bill. I got to pay my medical bill. And I wouldn't even think about it. I would just pay the bill, because that's what we do. And I asked myself this question. I'm like, if this was a medical bill, would I even question it? I have all of this social media proof. I have all of these articles that I've read, videos that I've watched, things that I've heard and seen Gary speak live. Everything resonates for some reason. Now, I'm no scientist. I'm no nothing. And I have no connection to 10X Health. But I kept looking at this and I'm like, if this was a medical bill, would I pay this? Would I just do it? And I asked myself that question. I said, yeah, without a doubt, I would just do it. And I finally said, what the heck am I doing? What is important in life? What is it that I'm really trying to accomplish? And what is it that I'm really trying to do? And then I sat back and thought, I'm like, you know what? What has helped me the most in my life? Has it been traditional ways of doing things? Has that been going to elementary and high school? Was it going to college? Was it any of those things? Did those things help me build the career that I have, the business that I have, the mindset that I have, the things that I have now? And I sat back and thought again, and I said, no. The traditional way of doing things isn't what has gotten me here. Now, there's a lot of good. I learned a lot of skills and talents in school. I learned how to deal with people. I learned how to deal with bullies and the good kids and the bad kids and I made myself look like an idiot here and my teammates and classmates and everybody. There's a lot of things that I learned there. I learned how to read. I learned how to write. I learned basic math. And, there was value there. But at the end of the day, did those things help me learn the things to truly improve my life in a direction that God put me on this earth to do and to be? No. what has helped me the most is all this outside side knowledge and information that I've purchased on my own. It was courses, it was community, it was events, it was coaches, it was programs. It was all of these things that I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on, the amount of podcasts that I've listened to and books that I've read and all these things. Those are the things that have really helped me improve my life. I finally figured out in my life that if I want to make more money, it isn't a matter of working harder. It's a matter of getting myself and my mindset into a place and a position where that's what happens. That's who I am. That's what I do. I level myself up. I grow myself. I develop my mindset. I expand my knowledge and my information. Because there's only so many hours in the day. And every time I work on this and I look at it like I want my business income to grow. And I'm like, oh, I need to work harder. And I would do that and I'd do that and I'd do that. And I'd make a little bit more money, but I'd burn out more. And I'd get tired more and I'd get frustrated more. And then I flipped the script. And I'm like, how about I develop myself? And my income grew. And my team grew. And my company grew. And so I'm sitting here looking at this blood test and genetic testing. And I'm thinking about all these things. And I'm like, why am I so scared to do this? This is the other funny thing about this. I got a friend that has dealt with some health situations himself. And one day I brought this up to him. I was like, man, I've been looking at this. Maybe you should look into it. Maybe this would really help you in that scenario. And he's like, yeah, but that would be super expensive. And he was getting ready to go down to a hospital and spend $500 to $2,000. You can spend $500 to $5,000 really quick at a hospital, right? Just running some tests and doing some things. But he was more than willing to go down there and do that. But this thing was too expensive. And then I've shared this with a bunch of other people, family and friends and some other people that I've had conversations with. And they look at me like I'm totally freaking crazy that I would buy something like this and do something like this. And I just really sat back and looked at, holy crap, you guys, we've been programmed. We've been programmed to follow tradition. Go to school, get good grades, sit down, shut up, ask permission to go take a pee, ask permission to go to recess, ask permission to do this and this. And oh, by the way, you need to go get a good job. You need to go get the benefits and the retirement accounts. You need to go work for 40 years. And then we'll see if you have enough. And then, oh, by the time you retire, and the average life is 77 years. That's the average that we're living to. So we want to work till we're 65. And then 13 years later, we want to die. And we only get 13 years to really live our lives. But, oh, while we're trying to live our lives and enjoy retirement, the government tells us how much money we can take out of our accounts, when we can take them out of our accounts. If we don't start taking them out of our accounts at a certain time, they're going to tell us when we have to take them out of our accounts. We're going to be taxed on them higher than when we made the money. We're going to be taxed on the money multiple different times. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Sit down, shut up, and do what you're told. That is literally the society we are growing up in. Like, we are so programmed to go down this road of following tradition. If you want medical advice, go to the doctors. Go to your local clinic, go to your local hospital. And then you walk in there and the freaking doctor, male or female, is fat and out of shape themselves. Like, bad. I'm like, how are they going to tell me what's wrong with me? All they're going to do is push a prescription. Oh, and then when I do get a prescription, they're going to tell me how often I can fill it, when I can fill it, why I should take it, when I should take it. Oh, and we got to go through all these hoops from this person to this person to get it approved. And then it's going to cost me tons of money to buy it at the beginning. What are we freaking doing? And then the topic of money. You guys, I've been spending the last 8 years now helping people with their insurance. And I am just mind blown. Every flipping week when I help somebody going into retirement, retiring from their company, and then I help them with their Medicare health insurance for in retirement. That's for people 65 and older or on disabilities, Medicare. And then I also am like, hey, I can help you with your retirement accounts and get you some protection there. And they're like, yeah, I would love that. I'd love for my money to never run out. And then it takes us 2 months to even get their 401k transferred to a different investment. And it's their freaking money. They worked for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years to make that money. We can't even get it from the account. And they make us jump through all of these hoops, fill out all this paperwork, and it's their freaking money. I've had some clients, you guys, I'm not kidding you, it's taken 2 to 3 months. And every time we call, oh, we need this form. Oh, we need this form. Oh, your employer hasn't released it. What do you freaking mean my employer hasn't released it? It's my money. They literally took that from my paycheck and invested it into the account. You guys, the traditional way of doing things is killing us. It is killing us mentally. It is killing us emotionally. It is killing us spiritually, physically, and every other way. I look around at all of these things that I'm looking at, and I'm like, no freaking wonder we in America have the highest suicide rate. We have the highest anxiety, depression, all of those mental issues that we're dealing with. People are retiring with the least amount of money in retirement, and we live in America. It's supposed to be the land of the free, the home of the brave. You can do anything, and we're freaking falling apart and collapsing from the inside. But then immigrants come over from another country, and they get over here, and they're like, look, we can do anything. And they go start a business and do all these things and create massive success. Have you ever wondered why that is? And I'm like, it's probably because they didn't have the programming from the moment they were born until this point in their life. I look at it all the time, the things that I was told and taught in school and growing up and things that I heard people say. And now I look back at that and I'm like, holy crap. Now I see why we're struggling. Now I see why there's so much problem going on. But then the flip side, there's so much freaking opportunity. This is America. There is so much freaking opportunity. But we're letting everybody and everything and all of this programming control us. So I literally wanted to talk about this because I went through a moment where I was like, man, I'd be more than willing to pay a $1,500 bill to a doctor or hospital or whatever type of clinic. Why am I not willing to invest that into myself, to find out truth, to do a blood panel without any agenda where they're going to be like, look, this is exactly what you got going on. And I've called this company multiple times and just been like, tell it to me. What are you guys doing? What are you looking at? I've called them multiple times and it's the same story every time. And I'm like, this is cool. But I'm like, why was I not willing to do this? Oh, because of the programming. For some reason, a $1,200 medical bill isn't expensive. You just pay it because that's what you do. But a $1,200 bill to go figure out the genes you were born with and the blood that's running through your body and what it is that you're missing and what is it that you need to optimize your health to be the best, for some reason we shut down. I want you to think about that with your finances, your fitness, your relationships, your career, your family, knowledge, information, the way you manage your money, everything you do in your life. I'm telling you guys, there is knowledge and information out there that would change your life for the good, for the better, to explode and to expand into the true person that you are. But you've got to remove all this programming. You got to start thinking for yourself. That is the number one secret. You must think for yourself. When I really sat down and thought about it, I was like, you know what? There's a reason why every time I come across a video of Gary Brecka or anything related to 10X Health or one of these people that talks about it, there's a reason why it resonates with my soul because I feel like it's truth. Maybe I'm going to be wrong, but at least now I know. I hope that's going to tell me things about my body and help me get my vitamins and my minerals and what I should be taking. Because I go and I'm like, oh, I should take a probiotic and I should take this and help with my testosterone and all the fish oil and all these different things. But is it really what my body needs? I don't know. I have no clue. I want to know, K-N-O-W. I want to know what it is that my body really does need. And I've searched and I found clinics down in Utah where they're like, oh yeah, we'll test you. And I went and did it and they were just like, oh yeah, you're low on testosterone. I'm like, what else? And they're like, oh, we didn't really study for that. I'm like, oh my good night. Well, you drew my blood. Tell me what I need to optimize my health. Tell me what I need to make more money, to be happier, more fulfilled, to go down the career that I truly want, to be a better husband, be a better father, be a better provider, be a better protector. What is truth? Honest truth. So these are some serious thoughts that I've been thinking about. And my hope here is it gets you guys thinking and it gets you thinking enough to take action because listening to this is good. Thank you for listening. And I hope you got value from this, but it don't mean a freaking thing until you do something. You want to know one thing that's really blown my mind? When I started in business, I look at all these other successful people and I'm like, man, how did they get to where they are? How did they really create their companies and their wealth and their just aurora that they have? And I started looking at it. I'm like, oh, business people, successful people, they just use everything as a resource. Poor, broke, middle-class people, they look at money like it is everything. They talk about it all the time, and they judge everybody for it. The reason why is because they wish they freaking had it. And then you go talk with wealthy people or hang around wealthy people, and they literally just use money as a resource to better their life, to grow their life, to expand their life. It takes hustle and grind at the start. But then every time you improve and increase your life, you should take some of that increase and increase your life. I'm going to share something that has increased my wife and I's life, and it was the simplest thing. I wish I would have expanded myself into it sooner and quit living in that limitation. All of you, if you have kids, holy freaking heck, is it a lot. I love my kids to death, but to keep up with your career and your job and your relationship and all of those things, plus keep a house clean and the laundry done and the lawn mowed and this and that, it gets overwhelming. And there'd be so many nights we'd finally get to the kids to bed, and then my wife would be like, hey, will you help me fold clothes? And there's 4 baskets of clothes. And I'm like, no, it's 9 o'clock. Let's go to bed. But we got to clean the house. We got to keep up on our life. And I just kept thinking, I'm like, man, what if we hired someone? What would it cost us if we hired somebody to come in even once a week and do a good deep clean through the house and maybe wash the towels and some of the kids' clothes and do a little bit of laundry and take that off? What would it do for our lives? I thought about it for a couple years, hired somebody. She'd come in once a month. That was great. She had a baby. And then it was 9-10 months before I thought of hiring somebody again. But then I sat here and thought about it. And I'm like, what if I hired someone to come in once a week? What would that do for our lives? Would we be able to spend more quality time with ourselves, with our kids, with our true purpose and dreams and goals and desires, instead of doing all these things? And I finally just said, you know what? I ain't going to know until I try. I hit record on my phone, recorded a simple video of what I was looking for, posted it on a local jobs page right here in my local community where I'm at, and had 12 people be like, yeah, I'd love to come clean your house. Talked to one lady, I actually knew her husband, and told her, I was like, hey, looking for somebody to come clean the house once a week. And if you'd be willing, maybe you could do the kids' laundry and wash the towels and then just clean the house and help keep up stuff like that. She said, yep, that's exactly what I can help with. I'm like, great, let's do it. Crazy thing, she also offered to pick up our groceries. We do a Walmart pickup every Monday or Tuesday, whatever kind of the schedules are. And she picks up our groceries from Walmart, the Walmart pickup, takes them to our house, puts them away, does the kids' laundry, all the towels, and cleans the house. Do you know how much stress and pressure and argument, frustrations, not really arguments, but just frustrated with the day? Because I'm like, I've had a long day. My wife's had a long day. Now we got to do all this other crap. Do you know how refreshing it is to come home? The house is clean, the towels, the kids' laundry is taken care of, the groceries are put away, everything's clean and immaculate, and we can focus on other things. For less than $200 a week, it has bought back hours and hours of our time. Do you know how much more effective my wife and I have been at working out, eating healthy, spending time with our kids, doing the things that we want to do? Just by investing less than $200 a week has bought back hours of time. Do you see how the non-traditional ways of doing things, that's just an example. Maybe that's not your forte. Maybe there's other things that you need to invest in. Maybe you need to buy that course or that coaching program or this health thing or whatever it is, you guys. Money is a resource, but we've been programmed to sit down, shut up, and do what we're told. And don't get out of tradition. You just need to work harder. You just need to be grateful for what you have. Work harder. Be grateful for what you have and work harder. Are you guys sick and tired of hearing that as well? Because I kept working harder and I kept just being grateful and working harder and doing all those things. And it felt like I kept being emptier and emptier. You guys maximize your life. Go the untraditional route. Invest into yourself. Grow, expand, and get better. You guys, I hope there were some things here that really hit you and expanded your mindset and expanded your potential of who it is that you truly are and what you are capable of. But like I said a little bit ago, listening to this is wonderful. Thank you for listening. If you got value from this, share it. Share it with a friend, share it with a family, post it on your social media. I would love that so it would grow the show so I can reach more people. But at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is if you take action on your goals and your dreams, even if it's just 30 minutes a day, even if it's just a couple $100. Do the little things. Invest. Go touch your goals. Go touch your dreams. Do everything you can in your power to reach out and to make that your new reality. So take action today and be the master of your life.